Let's take a look at the slides here. So vSAN is natively compatible with everything vSphere that you already know. High availability, vMotion, DRS, all of that is fully supported. Good integration, or the best integration with vSphere. As I said before, we have cache tier and capacity tier. Each VM can have a maximum of 5 objects. Okay, 2 of them are always there, regardless of the stages. The VM home and VMDK. The swap will be visible if the VM is up, and delta and memory objects will be visible if you take a snapshot and include the memory within. Each VMDK will have its data distributed in the form of copies of the data. In case of RAID 1, for example, here we have mirrored data between 2 hosts, component 1, and we have the witness used as a tiebreaker. This is valid for RAID 1 only. For RAID 5 and RAID 6, and also RAID 1 with an FTT of 2 and 3. So let's talk about RAID 1 with an FTT of 2. How many failures are tolerated with this policy? What do you think? How many failures? It's there in the policy itself. RAID 1 with an FTT of 2. How many failures are tolerated? Are you guys there? It's actually an FTT of 2, so it tolerates 2 failures. So how many extra copies should we have? If we want to tolerate 2 failures, how many extra copies of the data should we have? Any idea? So in the first example, it was a RAID 1 with an FTT of 1. We added the original data plus 1 extra copy. Okay. What about this? Guys, am I still audible? Just get the impression that maybe not able to hear me anymore. Okay. Are you guys still connected? Looks like everyone is gone. If you're still connected, could you please make a sign of life? Okay, Ali is there. Anyone else is connected? Okay. Okay. All right. So for a RAID 1 with an FTT of 2, we have the original data, which is a component. Then we need to add 2 additional components. So we can tolerate 2 failures. For each one of these additional components, vSAN will add a witness. So we'll end up with 2 witnesses and 2 additional copies of the original data. So if RAID 1 with an FTT of 1 will consume 200 for an object of 100, in this case, for an object of 100 again, this will consume 300 gigabytes. Okay. Now, RAID 1 FTT of 3. So we have the original component, original data, and 3 additional copies, plus 3 witnesses. So that's going to consume 400 gigabytes, right? From here, you can also see the number of hosts required for each one of these policies. For example, the minimum number of hosts, since each copy must be placed in a dedicated host, you can see here, for example, that the minimum number of hosts for RAID 1 with an FTT of 1 is 5. Minimum number of hosts for RAID 1 with an FTT of 3 is 7 hosts, right? For RAID 5 and RAID 6, we don't use mirroring. We use the concept of parity. If you are already familiar with RAID, you should know what basically a parity is. So it's a hash calculated based on original data. So in RAID 5, we're going to have component, 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 and component. In reality, it's basically data, 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 and parity. And this will result into a storage usage of 133 gigabytes. RAID 5 will help to consume less storage, but the trade here or trade-off here is the algorithm that it uses. Compared to RAID 1, as you may know, it will have a bit of impact on the performance. So RAID 5 will basically support only an FTT of 1. If you want better support for an FTT of 2, you can go with RAID 6. So RAID 6 will require slightly more hosts. You need 6 hosts. So you have data, 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 and double parity. Okay, it's going to consume 150 gigabytes for comparison. So it's up to you. You want to consume less storage, and the workload supports RAID 5, or as we call it, erasure coding, or you want to consume more storage and keep good performance. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this later. I hope that we will have more questions about the subject. Okay, so vSAN will be enabled at the beginning. It's part of the deployment, and you can manage the vSAN services by selecting the cluster. Then you click on the Configure tab, scroll down until vSAN services. From there, you're gonna have that. You're gonna see that the performance service is already enabled. Performance service is a service that creates an object for its own. The object will consume storage from the vSAN data store, and it's used to capture statistics about your environment and give you access to performance data. I'm going to show you more about this later. You have reservations and alerts, data services. These include encryption and stuff like that, and some of the advanced options. All of this will be covered later. So for the available storage policies, as explained before, for RAID 1, it uses mirroring as the FTM, the failure tolerance method, and you can choose between an FTT of 1, 2, or 3. RAID 5 uses erasure coding. There is no need for a witness. Supports an FTT of 1. RAID 6, similar to RAID 5, but supports an FTT of 2. The default storage policy is actually a vSAN policy that supports RAID 1 with an FTT of 1. You have the possibility to create your own policy and replace the default one if you want to. For example, if you have an all-flash environment and you want to make RAID 5 as your default policy, you can do that. We will see later how you can change this setting. For any storage policy, if you go to menu, policies and profiles, then select VM storage policies, you can select any of these policies and see more details about it. This policy is called VxRail System Storage Profile. This is a policy that gets created during the deployment of VxRail, and it's assigned to service VMs like VxRail Manager or vCenter Server if it's a VxRail Managed vCenter. It's exactly the same thing as the default one, the vSAN default storage policy, except that the VxRail policy is thick provisioned and the vSAN policy is thin provisioned. That's the only difference between the two. If you select a policy from this list, you can see details about the policy. You can see which clusters the policy is designed for. These are, the settings that you choose when you create a policy. You can create it from here. You can see which FTT you have selected, which method you have selected, the advanced settings. You can see which VMs are currently using this policy, which templates are associated with this policy, and which storage or which data store is capable of satisfying the requirement of this policy. Okay, so let's move on to labs. Questions before we move on to the next labs. Any questions? Okay, no questions. So we have 2 labs that you're going to work on now. So first one is lab number 5. You will explore the VxRail vSAN cluster configuration. That's from page 20. Then lab, let me see. Yeah, I think it's the only one. Yeah, just lab 5. Okay. So you should stop at end of page 29.